Hey, how's it going, folks? Well, we are back. It is Tuesday, February 18th. It is approximately 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Another edition of Wrestling Connect. We're going to talk about a bunch of news tonight. I do want to thank everyone for their watching every day that we do these streams. It is awesome, and I am very thankful for everybody who does tune in nightly when we do these streams. We were off yesterday, but we are back tonight, and we have a bunch of stuff that we want to talk about tonight, including Vince McMahon. Is he stepping back a little bit? He is more absent from Raw and SmackDown. We'll get into that. We'll also get into more Hall of Fame inductees, an ex-WWE star having some allegations against the president, and much, much more. Ayat Ali is in the house. What's up, George? Mauricio Flores. Sorry if I botched that. Anthony JCP, JJ Richardson, Eric Chamber, Glenn Hunt, everyone in the stream tonight. Let's talk about some wrestling news. And we're going to begin with the WWE Hall of Fame. As today, two names were brought up for the Hall of Fame to be inducted in the 2020 class, the first being British Bulldog. We spoke about this morning. Dave Meltzer did confirm that the British Bulldog will finally be inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame. This is a long time coming for the British Bulldog, the late British Bulldog who did die of a heart attack, and he's finally being inducted in the Hall of Fame. The big question is, who will induct him? I personally feel, and I know some people might not agree with me, that Bret the Hitman Hart should induct British Bulldog in the Hall of Fame. Clearly, his son will most likely be in attendance, Harry Smith, MLW star Harry Smith. And I could see Harry being in Stamford recently, and he was on the bump. I can see that maybe they did have a meeting with him and the family stating that they want the British Bulldog in the WWE Hall of Fame. And it'll be interesting to see exactly who does induct him in the Hall of Fame. I hope it's Bret the Hitman Hart. And judging by last year with the induction with Bret Hart and that crazy fan who ran up into the ring, this year is going to be a little bit different, but they still have the same type of setup where the induction, I believe, is going to be inside of a ring. I'm not 100% sure if they're going to have extra barricades there. It would make sense, extra security, just because of what happened last year. But British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, WWE has yet to announce that, but they should in the coming weeks. The other one being JBL. And a lot of people might not be happy as a polarizing figure, but he is set to be inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame as well. He has had a very storied career in the WWE, starting back from the 90s with the New Generation era, all the way up into the late 2000s, Ruthless Aggression era, JBL, and more recently him on commentary as well. Who will induct JBL? I think it's going to be none other than Ron Simmons, who's going to induct JBL in the WWE Hall of Fame. And it's going to be very interesting to see exactly how he is received. He is a polarizing figure, but he does have a lot of respect within a lot of people in the business, despite about a lot of the stuff that has happened with him behind the scenes. There's all kinds of allegations against him with bullying and hazing and ribbing going too far. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. As far as what he's done inside of the ring, I wholeheartedly believe that he is deserving of being inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame. And the others, Jushin Thunder Liger, yet to be announced. He's going to be inducted. The Bella Twins are going to be inducted. And then we already know about the NWO as well as Batista. So WWE Hall of Fame. WrestleMania weekend is on the Thursday night, the day before SmackDown, for the Hall of Fame. And we get into some other news. Vince McMahon. So spending less time Raw and SmackDown. Fightful Select originally did report that Vince McMahon's presence backstage at Raw and SmackDown television tapings have been more limited as of late, as Vince McMahon was rarely, if ever, at any SmackDown tapings between Thanksgiving and the February 5th episode of Friday Night SmackDown. The report does also indicate that Vince McMahon has been at Raw approximately half the time. While it's unknown how much input SmackDown Executive Director Bruce Pritchard has on the final product, he does assume his position at the gorilla position backstage. And it is also noted that Vince McMahon has been exceptionally private as of late, which is much different from the past where he's attended every television taping. A lot of people are wondering, does this have to do with the fact that he's restarted that XFL, or is this just Vince McMahon taking a step back and loosening up those reins a little bit? It is interesting, though. McMahon is still running the show, but he's doing it via video conferencing applications like Skype. So he is being a little bit more technologically sound. He's embracing technology a lot more. He now knows that he doesn't have to physically be in the arena in order for him to actually be involved. But it is interesting. McMahon is also getting a lot older, so I'm sure the travel has taken a toll on him as well. So right now, Vince McMahon's taking a bit of a step back while he's not so much at the arenas. He's still Skyping in. He still has the final say of what's going to happen as far as what's going on Raw and SmackDown. Fightful Select also did state that originally there was supposed to be a match between Matt Hardy and Randy Orton on Raw last night, but that was changed by McMahon. Basically, at the last minute, he said, you know what, we're just going to do this segment. It looks like Matt Hardy's now written off television, but originally they were going to do that match. They advertised that match, and up until Monday, they were going to have a match, but then McMahon pulled the plug on that match and changed it just to a segment. So with Matt Hardy, now the big question is, when is he going to show up in AEW? That is where it looks like he is headed. He has yet to sign any new contract, I should say, with WWE. Let's look in the chat real quick. What's up, Heel Boss, BM Scorpio? Geez, you always just put facts in our faces in ways we can understand. That's why I love the channel. You're always so easy to understand. Your wisdom is unlike any other. You know what, BM Scorpio? I do appreciate that. Salute to you for those kind words. Let's see what else is going on. Joseph Venditti, what's poppin', man? Juan, what's up, Juan? Can't pronounce your last name, man. I do apologize. Let's see what you got to say. How do you think we can have Sting involved in the Taker Styles match from the history? I'm not 100% sure if Sting is still in that picture anymore. Undertaker, we are going to talk about him. It's a great segue. He has been training at the WWE Performance Center. Fightful Select did recently report he was there last week. So I would assume he was there training for the match against AJ Styles. And it's WrestleMania season. A lot of people like to show up at the Performance Center. I do know that when Ronda Rousey, before she actually made any debut, she was training after hours at the Performance Center. And I'm not sure if they're doing the same with The Undertaker, where he's coming in after hours so he can train, I guess, in peace without anybody else around. BFG Podcast, I heard one scenario with Harry could be that WWE wanted him to return to the company. And apparently one of the guidelines was he wanted his dad in the Hall of Fame for him to sign. Well, you know, Harry is, I believe, still with MLW, so I'm not sure if he can actually sign a contract, as Court Bauer did even state that, you know, they do have legal representation, and they have contacted WWE lawyers for contract tampering. And so I couldn't see him, if he does have a contract with MLW, signing with WWE, just for the fact that, you know, MLW does actually have, you know, their lawyers contacting WWE right now. Joseph Venditti will be a good tagline for the match, the Phenom versus the Phenomenal One. You know what? I think it's going to be a good match. AJ Styles, technician in the ring, unfortunately, the Undertaker isn't like he used to be, but I'm sure they're going to put on a better match than, say, Undertaker versus Goldberg or something like that. Let's get into some other news. John Cena, he is returning to SmackDown on the 28th in Boston, just outside of his hometown, and he is expected to face Elias at WrestleMania. I know a lot of people might not be interested in that matchup, but I guess we'll just see exactly how they spin it. Last year, Doctor of Thugonomics, he interrupted Elias. This year, will Elias interrupt Cena on SmackDown? Another thing is Cena might actually be engaged to his current girlfriend, Shay, as an Instagram user did post a photo of Cena with a fan in San Diego. Let me pull up that picture real quick. You can see the photo of his girlfriend, who might now be his fiance. Let me get that on the screen here really quick. As you can see here, there is John Cena with some kids, San Diego, and you can see his girlfriend Shay in the background right there. Let me see if I can zoom in here a little bit, if that's even possible. As you can see on her finger there, she's got a big rock right there. So that is on her engagement finger or wedding finger, whatever you want to call it. And it's interesting, John Cena, obviously, we know the whole history with him and Nikki Bella. That didn't work out. Cena's always also posting these things on Instagram. I know you can't really take his Instagram too seriously, but there's like a wedding picture, and then this picture right here, Stone Cold Sweetheart Say Yes. So him and his current girlfriend, Shay, they did meet during his time in BC in Canada while he was filming Playing with Fire. So no confirmed reports yet. This is, I guess, strictly a rumor at this point, but it is interesting if John Cena is engaged and will actually be getting married this time. See what else is in the chat here. Do you think after this year, if Taker versus Sting doesn't happen this year, it will ever happen? You know what? That's totally up to Sting whether or not he wants to get back in the ring. Ashley Hooker, my computer stopped working. I love your channel. Thank you. Why would AEW risk not signing Jeff Cobb? WWE could sign him out of nowhere. Anthony, that is a great question right there. WWE could offer him some money, and he can show up, say, on NXT one night before even showing up on Raw or SmackDown. Do you think if Brian Cage wasn't injured, he'd be backing up Cody against MJF and Wardlow? You know what? I think that Brian Cage should join forces with MJF as like the added layer to his muscle. And I think that'll just make Cody seem more heroic, being able to go past that. Is Vince McMahon quitting WWE? No, he is not. Let's talk about some other news here. When it comes to Eve Torres, she made some wild allegations on Instagram yesterday regarding the United States President Donald Trump, and she's stating that Trump forcibly grabbed her in 2009 when Trump was involved with WWE, as this is clearly allegations. Nothing right now is for certain. This is the picture, one of the pictures they did take, as they do have like the Bella twins, Kelly, Maurice, Eve Torres, as you can see her. Trump has his hand on her. Also Maria Kanellis. She did post this on President's Day. This is what she stated. I look forward to having a president who doesn't grope or objectify women. I've taken pictures with thousands of men at military bases, at WWE events and signings, and very few have grabbed me and pulled me as forcefully as he did without knowing me. Of course, at the time, I believed it was my job to be eye candy in a photo for this supposed billionaire and play along. It is actually hard for me to see that photo because it reminds me of my beliefs about my worth at the time. Swipe to see what I mean. Swipe again for a brush up on a creepy hug. Defenses, including the inappropriate photo squeeze. P.S. The pregnancy announcement is old, so I'm not pregnant again. So she obviously has these allegations against Trump. This allegedly happened during a press conference in Green Bay, Wisconsin at the airport, June 22nd, 2009. And I'm just going to report it as I see it. There is an allegation here. I don't know what's true and what's not true. I'm not going to speculate on what's true and what's not true. I'm simply just putting it out there. If it's true, obviously that is horrible. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to put any personal feelings involved there because I wasn't there. I don't know what happened, and I can't speak on saying what happened and what didn't happen. She obviously has some allegations against him. There's a number of women who do, so that's neither here nor there. But at the same time, that is what she said. And let's see what else is in the chat here before we do get going. Am I crazy to think Matt is teasing way too much and he's going to stay? You know what, Anthony? At the last minute, he could always stay. They could offer him a bunch of money, and he could always stay. And they could say, hey, we're bringing the broken character back. He could. His contract doesn't end till the 1st. So, Keith Richardson, most of the ladies in that photo look the same. Glad the Bellas eventually stopped doing too much makeup. Anthony, do you think Jinder returns post-Mania and attacks Drew and that's his first feud for the title? You know what? I want to see Jinder return. Drew McIntyre even, he's still good friends with Jinder, and he said recently in an interview, Jinder's going to return. He's going to return with the Force. So I actually liked him as a champion. I thought his time as WWE champion, his feud with Randy Orton was great. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the whole dynamic with him and the Singh brothers and the crazy bumps the Singhs would take. Do you think tomorrow is Killer Cross? Do you think Killer Cross will be in NXT tomorrow? I would love to see him tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure. Anything else here? Was Cody Rhodes misquoted earlier in the AEW media call regarding women's wrestling? You know what? I did listen to the call earlier today as far as what he was talking about women's wrestling. I think that Cody Rhodes has his heart in the right place, but at the same time, I think he tries a little bit too hard, and his intentions are there, but at the same time, sometimes I do feel that AEW, like they say, they're what did he say? They're not trying to be diverse for the sake of diversity. Sometimes I feel that every company, and they are big corporations, they do that. They do that on purpose just to make themselves look better, and I don't think he's anything different. Jinder Mahal is the man. Why did they start having Hall of Fame inductions in the ring? That's a very good question. I believe they just started last year. All the other ones were on a stage, so it's just something I guess they thought would look a little bit better rather than a stage, and that's the way they set it up. And take a few more questions before I got to get going. Always want to remind everyone, pwnews.co/HBN. You can get t-shirts from Pro Wrestling Tees straight with that link. Keeping It Heel t-shirt is for sale. Brooks or P. Dick, what do you think AEW is lacking the most? That's a really good question. And I think that AEW right now needs to just let things happen organically rather than sometimes it seems like they're pushing a little bit too hard on some of this. I don't know. It's just some fans, they have a fan base there that knows a lot of the inside stuff, but there's some fans, casual fans, that might not know exactly what's going on the inside. They need to stop doing that a little bit more. And showcase their wrestling a lot more, because I honestly like NXT as far as the in-ring stuff goes most weeks when I'm watching. Do you think, can we see Drew McIntyre as the new face of WWE? You know what? Drew McIntyre, now that he's the babyface, it's still a little hard for me to see him as that babyface. I don't know. It's just something that there's something there that's missing. There's a small element of him as a baby face that is missing. The crowd is behind him, but some of his promos, you can still see that they're really, really scripted, and I think he needs to just let loose a little bit, ad-lib a little bit more. Once Vince is comfortable with him ad-libbing, I think it'll be great. What is Jeff Cobb's deal with AEW, and how did Marty Scurll get the contract of working anywhere he wants and becoming the lead booker of ROH? So here's the deal with Jeff Cobb. He's still not signed to anyone. He's a free agent. So clearly AEW made him an offer saying, hey, do you want to come in for a shot? It's going to look good on television to have a new face. And then at the same time, he is known on the independent scene. A lot of AEW's core fan base, who are those hardcore independent guys, are going to recognize him. He can leave after this and then continue with ROH. As far as Marty Scurll, a lot of people thought we're going to go with AEW. Even WWE offered him something, but ROH still needed something, and they're still backed by, a big company. Sinclair is a big company. They're not small time. So they put all their chips in a basket and said, hey, this is what we have for you. Are you okay with that? So that's that. Do you see AEW doing that, keeping on beating WWE? I still see AEW continuing to beat WWE in the ratings until WWE can start to integrate more big surprises. Like, we all know week to week we can maybe see a Raw or SmackDown superstar because they start teasing things on the Raw or SmackDown episodes, like with an NXT person, like Rhea Ripley showing up. So I think we just need more surprises, and then we'll maybe start seeing Matt Hardy is under WWE contract till the 1st, but I do want to thank everyone who did join me tonight, as we will return tomorrow night after NXT. That being said, your thoughts, drop them in the comments below. Don't forget to DDT that like button and subscribe. Join the notification squad to be notified of new videos, and have a great day.